Hey, before I tell you this episode isn't suitable for kiddos, I just want to tell you there's a big announcement at the end, so just wait through it. Come on, it's worth it. I don't know if it's a little early to say it, but this is the best episode of Special Stage. Round of applause for me. You're welcome for what you're about to listen to. Roll it. I hear you guys crying. I know what you're saying. The Opinion Zone has an intro. Why don't you have an intro? And I listen.
Special stage, always and never the same. Most podcasts are fucking lame. I'm different in every way. Special stage, go ahead and laugh away. You just talk and bore my brain. No flex, but I won this game. Special stage, always and never the same. Most podcasts are fucking lame. I'm different in every way. Special stage, go ahead and laugh away. You just talk and bore my brain. Eat my ass, I won this game.
On this episode of Sonic Hospital, we find our hero in a sticky situation. Dr. Sonic is being sued for medical malpractice.
In the case of Ogilvy versus Big the Kit Kat, the defense may now make its case.
Your Honor, my client made a teensy-weensy little mistake. Anyone could have made it.
Objection! Your Honor, it was not a simple mistake. My client, Big with the Cat, simply cannot live the same
Overruled, not elephant. The defense may now continue their case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Like I was saying, it's only human to make a mistake.
Objection! Sonic is not a human. Mistakes should not be made by him.
Sustained. Sonic is indeed not a human.
Have you seen the Sonic movie? Dumbass.
Damn, that's a good point. Overruled.
Your Honor, I would like to call to the stand Big the Kitten. Can you explain from your perspective what Dr. Sonic did to you?
Sonic made me cry.
How did he make you cry?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. What do you believe he medically did to make you cry?
He put Froggy in me.
So what was the reason you went to the hospital in the first place
Objection,
then?
relevance.
Overruled.
I put Froggy in me.
Objection. Your Honor, my client is clearly not well enough to be answering.
Overruled. The defense may now continue asking questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, if Dr. Sonic put Froggy in you, then why did you go to the hospital? I don't understand.
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
The evidence shows that when you were checked into the hospital, you checked in for a frog being inside you. Was this not the same frog as Froggy?
Different Froggy.
So are you claiming that right after Dr. Sonic removed the frog from you, he put another one inside you?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
Sonic open Big. Sonic take out Froggy. Sonic close Big. Sonic put in Froggy.
Were you conscious at the time of Sonic putting in Froggy?
Objection, asked and answered. With the twilight anesthesia, Big was obviously conscious, but he has no memory of it.
Sustained.
Do you have any memory of Sonic putting Froggy in you?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Answer the question, Big.
I put Froggy in me twice. I love Froggy.
No further questions. Your Honor, I rest my case.
There will be no need for the prosecution to call any witnesses to testify. The final ruling has been made. Dr. Ogilvy, Maurice the Hedgehog, is dropped of all charges and is not guilty.
What? That's it? Yes! Better luck next time!
I hereby sentence Big the Cat to death. May God have mercy on your obese soul.
Exits. I want to go fishing.
There's no fishing your way out of this one, Big. I order it be done in the court immediately. Strap him down.
Oh, now what am I
You
gonna
sicken
do?
me, you lying fat fuck cat. They say cats have 9 lives. I guess you're on life number 9, Big.
No, hold on there.
Big, it's me, your wife. It's gonna be okay. I promise we'll be okay.
Oh well, it's okay.
Flip the switch.
I love you.
Froggy, is that you?
Justice has been served. So for this first segment, I have an interview with Joshua from OngakuConcept. I want to mention a couple things. One, if I seem cringy, it's because I'm fucking nervous because I really respect him. Now, since I was recording from the audio out of my desktop into the interface on my laptop, there's a bit of a delay. If it seems like either one of us is interrupting the other, it's just the delay. We probably don't even hear each other, so... Now, Joshua runs a channel called OngakuConcept. It's a video game music theory channel, but he really goes outside of video games as well, but I guess that's like the primary demographic and his main focus. It's a very good channel, and he's done a lot of videos on Sonic and Jun Senoi and a lot of other music theory, breaking down, transposing, just a bunch of really good music stuff. Very in a good channel. Sorry if that's kind of a weird explanation. It's really hard to describe that, but he is very well educated on music theory and very well educated on the music theory of Sonic and the whole franchise, so I thought he would be a great guest to have on to talk about. His content's very smart, very well made, and you can tell there's a lot of thought behind it. I definitely recommend checking him out after this. His channel is OngakuConcept. Very, very good. Alright, so let's just jump on into it. Fuck, I'm gonna kill myself. So, I know you really like June. What would you say is your favorite Sonic soundtrack?
That's a good... by soundtrack, are you referring to, like, an entire game soundtrack?
The entire game soundtrack,
Okay.
including, like, all the music.
Okay. I just asked because some people use that to refer to specific songs.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I like a lot of them for different reasons, and I think that it's hard to compare them.
Yeah, they're really, some of them are really diverse. So,
Yeah.
But some aren't at all. Like, Rush
Right.
isn't really diverse at all.
Yeah, that's true. Gosh. Sonic and the Black Knight.
Okay. You chose literally probably one of two I haven't heard, so I have no comment.
Yeah, it's, I think,
What do you like about it?
I think it's just, it feels very cohesive to me as a soundtrack. Not that the others don't necessarily, but like, that one kind of stands out to me as doing so. But I'm also sort of biased in a sense because I really like the sorts of orchestral and like folk elements that are infused with the kind of music that that soundtrack uses. So that may be part of it.
So do you just like the whole entirety of it? Because some of them are like really hit or miss. Like some of Sonic Adventure 2 is really good, and some of it's like really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I would not say that Sonic and the Black Knight is a very good game, but I think it's.
Oh yeah, no, it's not like the soundtrack.
I think it's the soundtrack in its entirety.
Nice.
Really.
Cool.
I mean, all the cuts, like Yutaka Minobe's cutscene music is phenomenal on that game. He's really got a style, so like when you hear him, you know it's him, but he still manages to like write something unique for each scene, and it's cutscene music is usually a hit or miss thing for me, especially in like games like Heroes, for instance. Where I feel like some of the cutscene music is a bit I can't find the word for it right now, but it's kind of all over the place. But with Sonic and the Black Knight, I felt that the cutscene music, like they're nice pieces to listen to on their own, but they also fit the cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good answer. Good reason. I know, like, because I've obviously watched a lot of your videos, and the process you make it sometimes seems to go different. So do you like fully script out your videos? Because some of them, when you're like standing in front of a camera, it seems like you're kind of just like, maybe you have talking points, but you're just going from the head. But a lot of them you have visuals and stuff. Do you like script your videos, or do you just edit along to whatever you talk about?
It depends on the video. I'm not very good at improvising, and so there are maybe, I don't know, 10 at most videos on that channel that where I'm completely improvising what I'm saying, but generally I at least have talking points, and usually they're fully scripted. And so especially the videos the earlier videos I did were entirely scripted, and I would memorize bits of lines and say them and like edit out all the mistakes and things like that. But I started trying out different ideas kind of in maybe a year ago. But I'm kind of back to doing fully scripted videos again. They're just easiest for me to work with.
Nice. I mean,
I'm a better writer than I am a speaker, so
I feel like a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Especially on YouTube. Like, a lot of the people who improvise more, their videos, they can upload more content, but it's generally less polished. Because your content's definitely polished. Like, you put a lot of time into, like, the editing
Thank you.
like,
I'm glad that
graphics
comes
and
through.
stuff. How long would you say it takes to make a video? Like, your most recent one about June has a lot of graphics.
Yeah, that one took about 10 hours, I think, in total. It took about...
Oh, so that's not that long.
Yeah,
Like, some
yeah.
people spend, like, weeks. That's not too long.
Yeah, that one, so the way I work, I put things off until the last second and then I cram it all in. So I wrote the script. I mean, to be fair, like I had been forming the idea for the video for a few weeks. And so just kind of in my head. And so once I was ready to actually do it, it was just a matter of doing it. I didn't have to figure anything out. It's just a mechanical process at that point. I mean, I didn't know how I was going to approach the explanation of the transformations of the melody that I was discussing. For those who haven't seen that video, I was talking about the Wisp circuit track from Team Sonic Racing, and the two iterations of the B section have very similar but slightly differing melodies, and the manner in which they differ is a number of transformations. So certain little fragments of that melody are reversed or mirrored or whatever, but that's kind of hard to understand if you just talk about it directly, and so I wanted to find a kind of a little story to like make a little more sense. And so
it made a lot of sense, even though it's kind of like a concept I didn't really get. It was explained very clearly. I would say, like the different variations of it. I really liked it, and it made me understand, because I obviously listen to a lot of Sonic music, so I hear like a lot of Jun's music, and it really made me understand, because there is just like, it's not just Team Sonic Racing. There's a lot of his music just has like slight variations in it.
Right. Yeah. He does that. That's something that's very typical of his composing style. He, like I said in the video, he tends to kind of get the most he can out of a very small amount of material. You might have seen, if you saw the TGS performance last year, and some of his other like interviews since then, he often wears this shirt that says something along the lines of "keep it simple or don't do it at all." I think simplicity is something that he really values, and that comes through in his music.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people like find so memorable about it. Like, a lot of the other people since haven't been as memorable. Like, maybe they've made good songs nonetheless, but like they're not like, I don't know how to describe it. You just don't think of it as often. And I think T. Lopez did a really good job. It's Lopez.
Yeah.
I've never known how to pronounce it.
You'd think it would be Lopez. It's Lopez.
But I think he's very good at that as well.
Yeah,
doing a very similar style of
me.
slight variation.
That's interesting.
I feel like he's probably inspired a lot as well.
Yeah, because Tomoyo Otani, who's been the sound director for there's been a lot of composers for the Sonic series throughout its history, especially since June kind of dropped off. But Tomoyo Otani's been the sound director for the series for most of I think all of the core games from Sonic 06 to now. His arrangement style is fairly complex. He's adopted the kind of a modern J-pop sound, which I read an interview where he explained that he did that consciously because he wanted to give a new focus to Sonic's music, which I really respect that decision. But J-pop tends to be very maximalist in its arrangements, and by that I mean that there are many elements layered together, kind of filling up the spectrum. And so that's a quality that more recent Sonic music kind of tends to take on. And that doesn't keep him from necessarily being able to write simple things and then having a more complex background behind them. But I think just the sort of style that he prefers to lean towards nowadays is just a more complex one. And so it's June had plenty of complex arrangements, especially in the Sonic Adventure days, but he had but they were built on very simple like building blocks and melodies. And so I see what you mean. Like, they're very good pieces of music. I think Otani's an amazing composer and I respect him a lot, but I understand that like it's maybe harder to memorize and see like the individuality in the music unless you've spent like a lot of time with it. Whereas with June's, it's a little more like it stands out a bit.
Well, yeah, also a lot of like T's original tracks, like Studiopolis, like it has the slight variations in it that make it sound very different, but also have very fun progressions.
And that's something interesting that I forgot about it as I was talking about Otani, but I was going to bring that up. His arrangement style is actually very complex. It at least as complex, maybe more so than Otani's, but he does manage to write memorable melodies on top of that, which is, it's a good demonstration that you can have a complex arrangement and still have something that's built of larger building blocks that are simple and memorable.
Yeah, he also uses a lot of like old pop influences, like 80s like R&B, which is really interesting to mix in there with that style. But Sonic's always done that, which has been kind of cool. Sonic, what I find so interesting about the sound direction for the Sonic series as a whole is that most game series have a style that they can kind of call theirs, and that evolves over time. But it's, with like the Zelda series, I think you can listen to the music from the early games and then the more recent games, maybe Breath of the Wild is an exception, and see like the similarity between all of it. But with Sonic, like he sort of runs the gamut between genres, and I think the reason for that is because he's always been about like staying current, so he has to keep moving. That's why when Masato Nakamura was hired to compose for the first Sonic game, he wanted to do something orchestral, or at least as close to that as you can get with the FM sound chip. But Sega told him that they wanted him to just write the sort of music that he wrote for his band Dreams Come True, which was a very popular J-pop band at the time. And so they just wanted him to like draw on the sort of music that was popular then, the sort of music that he generally wrote. And so it's interesting to see, like you said, T kind of look back to that inspiration and draw from it, look back to that time and draw inspiration from that for his work. Yeah, I definitely hear it. I don't have anything else. I was just wrote a few quick things down for a quick little segment, because I'm going to do a bunch of interviews, but thank you so much for coming. I'm going to plug your YouTube and your Patreon.
Thank you.
That's youtube.com/OngakuConcept, ONGAKU Concept. Same on Patreon. Go check him out. He's got awesome fucking videos. And even if you don't understand what he's talking about, it's really informative and you'll learn a lot just by watching them. They're so well made. I just want to fucking nut, And I'll have the link to his most recent video on how Jun Senoue plays with his music in the description. Thank you for listening to this little interview. Also, it's really unrelated, but I say Senoue. Everyone I know says Senoue, but I have heard Aaron Weber say Senua, so maybe I'm an actual retard. We'll find out in the comments if I'm retarded. Drum roll, please. Here's the big announcement. You've all been waiting for it. Give me more, Daddy. More? I need so more. Thirsty. More.
I want the full podcast.
More. patreon.com/juckfaden. That's right. I started a Patreon. I'm announcing it right now. Patreon.com/juckfaden. You're going to get the podcast early for just $1. You're going to get the full uncensored version. You don't even know, but you're hearing a watered down censored version. It's going to be fucking epic. You're going to get a monthly non-Sonic related podcast. You're going to get the fucking music I work on early. You're going to get exclusive interviews with people in the community. It's going to be fucking epic, dude. And I was against putting out a Patreon at first, but I want to be able to work on more creative projects, videos, more podcasts, better quality, longer podcasts, better guests. I think it's going to be freaking epic, and it's a really awesome way to support me if you think this podcast is cool, funny, whatever. If you like it, it's an awesome way to support. Check it out. I know I don't love to plug, and if you don't want to check it out, that's fine. At least follow me on Twitter. Come on, help a bro out. Twitter.com/juckfaden. I put a lot of fucking effort into this podcast. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it really is. It takes a whole fucking week to make. I start on Monday when it gets I finish the other episode, and then I finish Sunday night. It really takes a lot of time. So, help a brother out. Patreon.com/juckfaden. It's just $1, dude. And then maybe follow on Twitter if you want to get updates and see epic stuff at all the projects I'm working on. It really mean a lot. And thank you for listening to Special Stage. I have a lot of fun making this, and I'm going to keep doing it every Monday. I got a lot of plans for future episodes, and let me tell you, we're on a good path. We're going uphill. I know the last one, I even said in the episode, I'm going to be real with you when it's kind of bad, but right now it's good, and it's only going to get better. Thank you for supporting me in my creative endeavors. Honestly, I fucking love you guys. The biggest thank you to Jamie for believing me and giving me this opportunity to create this content. It means so much to me, and I wouldn't be able to make this podcast without him. So, very big thank you to Jamie from Sonic Show. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you
next Monday.
Tuning your little ear holes in. It only gets better, man. This is gonna be good. Again, thank you. Support if you want to. Don't feel obligated to. And I'll see you again next Monday with another banger podcast. I love you.